Shalom, Israel, shalom. I want to welcome everyone to King James Bible University. I'm Elder Michael Johnson with the Lost Sheep of Israel. I want to apologize. We're having a few issues here, and I'm trying to make sure that what is happening here, for some reason, let me check because some of the wrong things is actually showing, but I think they kind of got it straightened out. So we're gonna get started, and we're gonna look at a few things today because we want to find out what is the church and how to become part of it. And what we're trying to find out is a few things. We need to understand exactly what is the church. Is it a place, or is it something that we really trying to understand? But the church is mainly just saying a gathering place of people. The church is a gathering place of people. Now, you have some people who mix this up and they use the church as a gathering place for people to sing, take up money, and then they're going to hear about a 30 to 45-minute sermon on how Christ died, and then they let people out. But what we want to do, we want to see what the church refers to in meaning in worship and learn about the Most High and His commandments. This is what we need to know, and how we can see this clearly in the Old Testament, because the Old Testament shows us the foundation of what we need to do and how we are to proceed in this today's understanding from Scripture itself. So as we go through this, we want to get the foundation first so we can understand what is the church. Then we can start going through and get the meat of the understanding. So first we're going to see the spiritual side. We're going to look at some of this. We're going to look at Jacob on how he gathered the sheep as a symbol, and how he took many and how he fed them in the depths of the whale's mouth, which is WELLS, and how he did this spiritually. So we're going to start looking at this. We're going to get the understanding here, and then we can actually end up moving forward. So first we're going to go to Genesis 29, and we're going to start at verse 7. In 29 verse 7, it says, "And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go feed them." Now, this time was high day. However, the cattle were gathered. So we need to understand, one, what cattle is. Cattle is a collection of domesticated animals. Cattle here and anywhere else is a collection of domesticated animals. Understand them what? They understand the commands what to do by them, that's given by the owner of them. This is what we need to understand what cattle are. See, because you can't go out in the wild, and the same thing you can see in other countries where you see it's a collection of wild animals, say like wildebeest that you see in Africa. It's large amounts of them, thousands and thousands of them, but they wouldn't be considered as cattle, because cattle is a collection of domesticated animals. So and then they understand the commandments of the owners, because then they can direct them in which ways to go. Every now and then you might have one that want to run wild, which they have dogs and other men on horses to direct them. But cattle is a collection, and this represents the spiritual things are collecting as one body to do what? Mainly to water and to feed, because they have been domesticated. So this is what they was doing here. And they said, we cannot until all the flock be gathered together until they roll the stone from the well's mouth, then water the sheep. So this is a great variety of many different sources. And as you can see, sheep is a part of the collection of cattle. But the key is that the Most High used them and owned them. To care for them, he used to reside in pure ones. This is why we're looking at the sheep. So spiritually, the Most High redeemed Jacob to start to feed them, is what we see in here. Jeremiah 31:11, it says, "For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he." What is it speaking of? This is speaking of his brother, because he ransomed him. And what this saying is, he's rescued Jacob from his brother of punishment and charged him to gather the sheep from the other. But right here where you see this is he ransomed him because his brother was stronger than he. His brother was stronger than he. And his brother actually was going to try to destroy Jacob because he believed that Jacob has took his birthright, which he did not. However, we're going to go through and get the understanding here. It says, "Therefore, they shall come and sing in the height of Zion." Ooh. This is clearly letting you know it's speaking of Israel. And it says, "And shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord," or Yahweh, "for wheat and for wine and for oil and for the young of the flock and of the herd. And their souls shall be as watered garden." You see how it uses this? Their soul should be as comparison a watered garden, meaning that you be fed with knowledge and understanding. And they shall not sorrow anymore at all. So as a water garden, meaning Jerusalem was by his name, and Jacob showed the same as the flock not being perfect and starting out. We're going to start looking at to which he did. And even with Jacob, he wouldn't even take something that was perfect. Jacob took everything that was spotted, and that is not perfect. We're going to start looking at that to start getting this foundation and understanding before we see actually how he fed them, and then the ones that he actually taken and the ones that he shepherded. This is what we got to see. Let's go to Ephesians to get some more clarity here. And we're going to go to Ephesians 5:26. And it says that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. See, we that are not perfect, we need to be cleansed and fed. And we got to be cleansed with water. So he's feeding us with the knowledge. This is what that represents. We have to understand where that's coming from. Because once we understand, as we go there and we're drinking water, we have to understand exactly what this is doing. And it moves on. And it says that might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot, which you need to keep this and write this down because this key we need to understand, or wrinkle, which we also need to understand, or any such thing, but that it should be holy unto and without blemish. So we know that the spot and wrinkle is blemish because it's saying you can't have them. So if you can't have them, we know we have to be presented without spot, because without spot is represented without blemish. As I said, we have to go back and look at Jacob and see what Jacob did when he was working for his father-in-law. We're going to find out a few very important things here in the Old Testament that we need to make sure that it works the same in the New Testament. And this is what was going on. Because this was Jacob was taking up sheep, and as I said, he's going to take them and they're not perfect. But we need to see this because a few things happen to what we need to understand. Genesis 3:30 and 25. It says, "And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph, And Jacob said to Laban, this is his father-in-law, send me away that I may go unto my own place and to my country. Now we understand here that everything had to happen in order systematically, which we're not going to really get into. But Joseph had to be born here. And there was a reason why he had to be born, why he was there. But it goes on that he talks about that he wanted to be sent away. So as we look at this, we'll see that later that the Most High later sent him into Joseph ended up going into Egypt for a reason. And at that time, Jacob spoke to Laban that he wanted to leave his country once Joseph. See, Benjamin wasn't born yet, but once Joseph was born, and Joseph and Benjamin was from Rachel. This is why I said, if we get into that, it'll run us on another tangent, which we're not going to address actually in this teaching here. But let's go down more. It says, give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee. Now understand what he's saying. He served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service. Understand what he is saying. Can't be just running over these words. For thou knowest my service, which I have done thee. You see that? We need to understand what he's saying and what he's talking about. For whom I have served thee, and he knoweth my service. See, because Jacob had blessed Laban with more than he had from the beginning. Because when he came there, Laban didn't have that many, but we're going to start seeing some of this as we start unfolding. Verse 27, it says, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that Yahweh hath blessed me for thy sake. So Laban is not ignorant to this. Laban understands exactly what is going on here. Laban said that he clearly understands that he was blessed because of Jacob. But watch this. We're going to see something very important. Verse 28. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. Very important. Now we know that Jacob fed the flock. We know he cared for the flock of what? Of sheep. Laban is one to appoint him wages. We see this right here. He said, I will give it. So whatever you want, however much money you want, I will pay you for that. He wanted to be paid for the service. It's the same as back then, the same as we're going to see today. And Laban wanted to pay him because he had increased his number of his sheep. But watch what happens. Verse 29. And he said, who? Jacob said unto him, thou knowest how I served thee. Understand what he's saying? You know how I served you. And how thy cattle was with me. So he's even telling that the flock was with him. So Laban, when you see in verse 28, said, appoint me wages, because Laban wanted to pay him. Verse 29, Jacob, and he said unto him, one, I want you to clearly understand that the cattle, the flock was with me. But should he be paid? Verse 30, for it was little which thou hadst before I came. So he didn't have that many sheep when he came there. But watch this. And it is now increased unto a multitude, and Yahweh hath blessed thee since my coming. And now, when I shall provide for my own house also. Understand what he's letting him know. So Jacob was telling like Laban about the flock that he shepherded. So we need to understand And Laban wanted to compensate him. And Jacob also let him know that he didn't have that many sheep, but now he has a multitude of sheep. So we need to understand exactly what is happening right here, but watch exactly what's going to happen here. Verse 31, and he said, what shall I give thee? So Laban still is saying money from verse 28. And Jacob said, what? Thou shalt not give me anything. This is letting you know, even on the spiritual side, when you look at this in the Old Testament, they are not to be paid. This is the problem that you have in the church today. Because you see, he cared for the flock. And though he had few, now he has many through how Jacob fed and cared for them. However, you still see here, Laban wanted to appoint him wages, and he told him right here, Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything, but he asked him for one thing. We're going to see this in 1 second. He said, if thou wilt do this thing for me. See, now he's only want one thing for him. One thing he do want from Laban. We're going to understand that. He said, I will again feed and keep thy flock. But you see right here, he do not want the money. This is the problem that many people have when they're dealing with churches. This is showing you the difference. So we're going to get the understanding here. Verse 32, it says, I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle. So all the speckled and spotted sheep, he's going to remove. He's going to take them with him. And all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and such shall be my hire. So he's saying all the spotted, all the speckled, all the ones that is not perfect, those going to be for my hire. Give those to me. Something that is not perfect, to where he can transform them into being perfect. You see it? See, he's going to take the spotted sheep, the spotted goats, which in the Most High, that's a vision of sin. Jacob saying, give me those. You keep the perfect ones. This is what he's letting Laban know. But you have people who will do differently. Now watch verse 33. It says, so shall my righteousness answer for me at the time to come. Understand the language, how he's using it. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come. When it shall come for my hire before thy face, everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats. So he's saying, once he goes through and get the ones that are spotted and speckled among the goats and the brown of the sheep, if he get anything other than those, here we go, that shall be counted stolen with me. So he only wanted the ones that were sin, that had sin based on them. So when we look at the sheep and the goats, we are not perfect. We are counted. So they counted themselves as perfect, and then they with Jacob, they're counted as stolen. Jacob would not what you see. He's showing you another side. See, Jacob was of the promise. He was to gather the flock the same as he gathered the people in our nation of Israel, because you see that he collectively have Israel, and is named after him because the Most High named him, and that's why we are today are Israelites. This is why you see that. Now, Yahushua met many places and watered the flock, because this is what Yahushua did. He met in many different fields, and what happened? The flock gathered to hear what the Most High had to say through the mouth of his prophets, Yahushua. He did some by the seaside. He did them in open fields. He did this to do what? To hear the word of the Most High. The church, the gathering of the flock, can be anywhere. However, it is a reality that what they teach you, it is a building, a place where people can go to and learn of the Most High. Or is it of another Christ? See, we have to remember there's a few problems if that's true. Because first, Yahushua, he taught daily in the temple, not in synagogues. He taught daily in the temple, not synagogues. Buildings as synagogues, we have to understand, they're one and the same. So same as people sit there and say, well, we go to this church or we go to that church, it's one and the same. It's basically is a synagogue. It's the gathering place to where people go to learn of a God, not the God of Israel. They go to learn of a God. We're going to get more into that. And it says in Yahushua that we have to look at when he was seeking, which was lost, that's when he went in to the synagogues. He went into those gathering pens. So we need to look at this both ways. We need to look at the synagogues, the gathering places, because synagogues, as I go through, synagogues and churches is one and the same. Those are gathering places or gathering pens to where a collection of people come to learn of something. But we also going to know is why I'm saying the Most High do not reside in those. He don't reside in buildings that's made with hands. He tells you this all through Scripture. But we're going to get that understanding to see what Scripture says about everyone, every question at hand. See, because today churches, today, it's pretty much on every street corner, especially when you look in the Israelite or Black areas. But have you ever thought why is it mainly dominant in those areas? We really need to just think about is dominant in the Black areas. But it's there to keep you in false doctrine, and that's only, and we will find that out. And how you have to remember what they did to the meeting places of the Most High. See, that's why he says you have to remember. This is why it constantly goes through. Remember. And if we don't remember, we'll never know where to go. We'll never learn from our mistakes. We'll never learn from what was done to us before. And then we forget. And that leaves our children to fall into the trap that we once were in. And we're going to start finding this out because those synagogues, those meeting places, because we used to have those. They used to belong to us, not the ones you see today, but synagogues, meeting places, meeting buildings, places where you can go and learn about the Most High. We get ready to find out more so what they was first and who had them. See, because first we called them meeting places, moads. However, today they have them for non-believers, people believing in another Christ, and their gathering places is like what? Like the church or synagogue. These meeting places of assembly or gatherings, which is called the church today, is a replica of synagogues today of Satan. Why? Because what they have done and what Satan has done by the principality and spirits of the air, what they done, they have burned and destroyed the Most High meeting places, which were synagogues, in times past. We're going to look at this. Let's go to Psalms 74 and 4. We're going to pick this up. It says, Lo, enemies roar in the midst of thy congregation. They have set up their ensign for signs. Thy enemies amongst you, amongst the congregation, have set up ensigns for signs. That's a powerful statement within itself. Thy enemy uproar in the midst of thy congregations. They have set up ensigns for signs. Congregation meaning same thing, assembly of people. An assemble to be separate of a congregation. However, now we have even men have set up their own meeting places of congregation to impress false signs. That's what churches are today. Gonna go on more. And such like a valor and military minded. How? How are they gonna be banner and military minded? We're gonna go through that. One, they use clothing. Clothing how? They use clothing that's striped as leaders, robes, stars, badges, numbers of bars on them. They use many different things. Now, many of them come in on robes. They come in with shirts with the white around the collars. They come in those kind of ways. To show what? To show separation of leadership. They come in with robes, colorful robes on. Why? To show leadership. These are signals for the assembly to notice of who's who according to officers and ranks. This is what's happening. But watch this. Verse 5. As a man was famous according as comparison, as he had lifted up an axe upon the thick trees. Now, why is it saying that? Famous men. It's compared the same as cutting down the old wise trees that are full of branches with knowledge, but the brook of the river. Why? Verse 6, and it says, but now break down the carved work thereof at once with axe and hammers. So they made sure these was torn down. These men has torn down the carved work, meaning they have torn down the line. They have really literally drawn a line in the sand. They, to make a difference between our God and their God. They're making a difference between our God and their God. The God of Israel in the Bible between the God they want to give you the facade of. By first doing what? By removing the buildings in our sanctuaries. Because as I said, they had to remove the Most High synagogues, the gathering places, the churches where people assemble. Why? Verse 7. They who, thy enemies in verse 4, have cast fire unto thy sanctuaries, that sanctuary, and have defiled by casting down the dwelling place of thy name to the ground. This is what they done. They have put fire to his sanctuary, and they defiled by casting down the dwelling places, and did what? Let's go through. They said in their heart, let us destroy them together. They have burnt up all the synagogues of who? Yahweh in the land. This is what they done. Because they wanted them all destroyed. This is what they was doing from the beginning. This is what they're going to make sure they're going to continually do. So they destroyed them all together. All the ones that was learning of the Most High, they destroyed them together. And did what? We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet, neither is there among us any that know how long. So now we don't see anything coming in, signs of Satan, to know, let him reside in the temple, and it's yours because you're the temple. Because it's telling you right here, they burnt up the synagogues. They burnt up the meeting places. Those are destroyed to where you gather and learn of him. This is why you have the temple, because we're going to find out later exactly what the temple is. But we know the gathering places where people are to meet to learn and do more about the Most High. It's not there. Why? They burned them up. They destroyed them. So Satan has provided meeting places for them to do what? To entice to sell ideas of his belief system. This is what they do today. So we know them. So that's why I said it's a spiritual battle between Satan and the Most High. These are the signs that will follow us. So this is the first sign that we have fallen away from the Most High faith and the belief system to accept Satan's beliefs. What are these signs? Let's see what they are. Exodus 4:8. And it should come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, understand what it's saying, they will believe the voice of the latter signs. So the first sign is no becoming a member of the Most High. It's not the way the voice of the Most High anymore. And many are doing that today. How do we know this? We know that they say the commandments done away with. They eat whatever they want. They live however they want to live. These are the first things. And then they even tell you that the doctrine of all the commandments is done away with, which they take the doctrines up. And then they just teach the doctrines of men. They can tell us anything not according to scripture and can't find it in the scripture. However, you have many others that will believe that for the truth. They would use many different books. They'll go through all different type of books to explain something to you that is not of the truth. And most people buy it. And how do I know this? Because currently today, Satan has over 1 billion members of Christianity. Over 1 billion members today. Many of them are Israelites. This is why we're going to have that issue. This is why we're going to continually have this problem. So this is to break down our numbers. Why? Because we need to kind of understand, even today, we have over 79% of Israelites that are Christian. Today, check the numbers. 14% are Protestant. We have a large percentage of them that is more about 5-6% is historically Black Protestants. Then we have about 5% that are Catholic. We have 1% that is Mormon. We have another 1% that is Jehovah's Witness. We have another 1% that are Muslim. We have 2% that is Buddhist. 1% that is Hindu, and we have about 1% other world religions. There's too many to really count, but then we have 18% that are atheists. These are created to turn you from the truth and not obey the voice of the Most High. Those are the first sign. Then Yahweh said that he shows signs also the same way. But let's look at this. John 2:7, it says, Yahweh said unto them, fill the water pots with the water, and they filled them up to the brim. What is it saying? See, this is carnal sense. They just saying fill the water pots. Most people sit there and tell you that's all he's talking about. He's not actually saying that. He's telling them that because he's demonstrating something to them to understand what is happening through here and going through scripture. This was a teaching moment for them to understand exactly what was happening. Fill the water pots up to the brim. And what it is, well, full of knowledge. However, The governor came out and sampled and drank and found that it was new wine put in what? Old water pots. But it was new wine. Let's look at some of this. And he said unto them, draw out now and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bared it. And they bared it and gave the sample and handed it and turned it over to him. Verse 9. When the ruler of the feast have tasted the water that was made wine, he knew not whence it was, but the servants, understand what he said? The servants which draweth the water knew. They knew it was water. And the governor of the feast called the bridegroom. He didn't know which it came from, but the servants knew. Watch what happens. And he said to them, every man at the beginning doeth set forth good wine. And when the man is well drunk, missed it. See, we'll breathe over that, but we missed it. Every man at the beginning do set forth good wine. What is that saying? What is it talking about? And when men have well drunk, that which is worse, but thou kept the good wine until now. Really? He's showing you this and demonstrating this. False doctrine against true doctrine. But can you put new wine in an old bottle? Because he's giving you 2-3-fold understanding just in these couple of verses. Because one, what we got to remember, one must be born again to put the new wine and now in a new bottle. You have to be born again. Because when you try to put new wine in an old bottle, it's not going to work. So one will become drunken of old doctrine and lies. This is what's going on here. Goes on more. This beginning of miracles did Yahushua in Cana of Galilee and manifested, made known, forth his glory. See, most people, oh, matter of fact, he turned into. No, it's not saying that. Matter of fact, he made known forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. These are things, these are doctrines that people get into and people jack up. This is why it's so important to where we need to know exactly what's going on all the time. You cannot put new wine in an old bottle. You have to renew your mind and become a new creature. When you baptize, you have to kill off that old body and get the new body. So Satan will continue to provide factories all over the place. He will continue to put them on every street corner and continue to make them look more better, more beautiful, better singers, groups, you name it. Why do you think they pay the musicians and everybody else? Why do you think they do this? They do it for a reason. They do it to keep you tied into doctrine that is not true. They inject the truth, they give you a verse, which is true, because it's coming directly from scripture. But everything precedes is a lie. To keep you drunken in lies. So let's just look at that one more time. We need to look at this and understand. Let's go back to Exodus. and get that understanding. Exodus 4 and 8. He said, and it should come to pass if they will not believe thee. It's in Exodus. Neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the later signs. Really? And you don't think they're doing that today? First sign. It should come to pass if they will not believe the voice of the two signs, neither hearken to the voice unto thy voice, that thou shalt take the water of the river and pour it unto dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood unto dry land. Most of y'all missed it. We need to understand exactly what it's talking about. The two rivers becoming blood, meaning the first sign. We need to listen and learn. However, the spirit of Satan will only get stronger and pull more and more of us away from the truth and take us where? Directly into the pens, into the churches, into the synagogues, the gathering place, which Satan did not structure for the Most High. He structured those for himself, to feed you, to fatten you up for the kill. That's why you pay money for their teachings. This is why you pay money to hear about their God. This is why you pay money so he can tell you you can eat and do whatever you want, and it's forgiven. This is why they can tell you you're totally under grace. They tell you he has paid it all, and now we don't have to do nothing. You can even commit future sins, even sins you plan on doing, and they already forgiven. This is the God they tell you about. You can't find him in the Bible. See, he's telling you about the great whore. The great whore of the Bible. We're going to find out who that is. Revelation 17, verse 1, it says, and it came to pass, and it came one of the seven angels which had seven vials, and talked with me, talking to John, saying unto me, come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. You see that? See, I will show unto thee the judgment. Understand? I'm gonna show. Just keep that part. I will show judgment. Of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. The great whore, listen to what? Doctrine and lies in churches, these being according to their works. But he goes on. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhibitors of the earth has been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. These people who dwell upon earth, and they just talking about the lies and not the truth, and now drunken with lies, and cannot determine the truth from a lie. Because they have been what? They have been drunken with the lies of Satan. So once they are embedded and they have drunken with these lies, and most people think that they're drunken, you so tied up into false doctrine, you don't even know what you're doing. And they will swear up and down. They're teaching you what is of the truth, and they're not. Kings of the earth. Leaders. But he goes on more. We're going to get this understanding. So he carried me away in the spirit. He carried me away in the spirit. Carried me away in the spirit into what? Into the wilderness. That's where we are now. You have people who teach that you're going to go into this jungle place. You're going to go into the wilderness. And I hear they got camps teaching this like crazy. Really. You're going to go into the wilderness. And this is, the Bible is more than 85% parabolic or allegorical. And they reading it literal that they're going to go into the wilderness and pitch camps. This is what they're teaching today. Interesting. And we have Israelites falling for this today. Interesting. But let's move forward. It says, carry me away into the wilderness, saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And most of those, even Israelites and many churches, they sitting right along right with this beast. And what are they doing? Sitting upon, and she will be in control. However, these people who is talking about is rose and lilies are to grow where they are flowed with milk and honey. So mainly milk and honey, it gonna get all the understanding, because guess what? Those rose and lilies is talking about Israel. Learning from this beast. Where milk and honey flows. Let's understand this. Let's go to second Hebraist. Second Hebraist 2:19. It says, in as comparison, many fountains flow with milk and honey. Many fountains. What is it talking about? People teaching the truth. Flowing with milk and honey. And 7 mighty mountains were upon there grow rose and lilies, whereby I will fill thy children with joy. Really, this is what he's saying. He's making himself clear, and then most people are going to read this in literal and not understand he's speaking allegorical. The abundance of milk will give you butter. The abundance of it will give you butter. Why? It give you a butter to where you can mix it with the honey, which is very good. Make it the fat of it. That's what it's talking about, to make it very high. And the knowledge here is so you need to seek and find it. But you know, it's not in the church. They burned them up. You have to remember that happened thousands of years ago. They already burned those up. And we're going to deal with the temple in 1 second. But they burned up the synagogues. They burned up the churches. So we need to know it's not there. Open pasture have an abundance of what? Milk and honey to eat. Let's see, some of y'all missed it. The open pastures have an abundance of milk and honey to eat. Isaiah 7:22, it says, and it shall come to pass for the abundance of milk that they shall give thee shall eat butter. For the abundance of milk that they should give, he should eat butter. For butter and honey shall everyone eat that is left in the land. For everyone that is left in the land. See, this is eating the fat of the land, the commandments of the Most High, but who is actually being fed the very truth of the word. Not getting a Similac or something that's mixed with watering it down. Going into outside books to prove the Most High word is true. The silliness, where he's speaking the truth, he can very well articulate for himself, but We don't want to use the precept. So what we want to do is go grab the book of Joe Blow, because Joe Blow had researched this other part to prove that something is true, that he has found that is true, that what the book says. So now he validates it, writes a book, and we go be stupid enough and go buy the book and say, see, such and such said this. Has to be true because he validated what the Bible says. Silliness. So, as we grow as roses and lilies, it had to be filled with joy, the children of the Most High, not in a pen. In a pen of what? A pen where pigs is confined. Where you been confined? You could find in a building, and they lock the doors, raping you of what? Of your money and your pride. So you're confined. You have to be fed. Then they can really just feed you anything, technically. But the Most High field, you can go in and out of the pasture, in and out, and be fed all the time. This is what's happening. But let's get more. Let's go back and look at secondaries to really, so we can start nailing this down. It says, in as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains were upon, there grew rose and lilies. Understand what he's saying? Whereby I will fill thy children with joy. So he's letting you know he's talking about people. So the 7 mighty mountains which grew roses, and it signifies the delights of the truth of wisdom. Lilies meaning it relates to the first state of a new birth. Renewing your mind. Or regeneration. Is not talking about reincarnation, which some people even teach that silly doctrine also. Lily signifies the blossom which proceeds from the fruit of which was growing. Hosea 4:14-5, it says, I will be as the dew unto Israel. What is dew? Water that sits on a lily. But we're going to get more. He shall grow as, comparison, the lily. See that? He shall grow as, comparison, the lily, and cast forth his roots as Lebanon. So we learn the truth and grow our fruits, which is lilies, as the roots in spiritual and truth, doing good, in the place which they sit, where a woman sitteth upon. Not one of the ones who've been woke up, not being awake to sleep. Because what? She's filled with abomination and filthiness. This is the great whore, the spirit. Understand what the spirit is. It will come as an angel of light. That's what? As angels of the Most High. This is how it's going to come. Revelation 17:4, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of what? Of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Of her fornication. Showing you all these lies you can do as what we spoke. They're telling you can do all these things. She was arrayed in purple and scarlet. However, the spirit was filled with fornication, meaning what? The people would join themselves to other guys, making one believe whatever she wants, whatever that spirit wants you to believe, then believe it. This is the mystery of abomination of fornication of this spirit, which will reside in 7 kings, which 5 already has fallen, meaning what? Died. One can be in power, and now that we speak in the world, and it's not one that came yet. The 10 horns of the king is not received the kingdom, meaning will have control of the world. However, they will receive power as kings do. They will make war with the Lamb, but the Lamb will always prevail. These ones kept the laws of the Most High, even the water which she sets upon are the seeds of people and nations and tongues. She was able to change the doctrines into any language, into any nation they needed to go into. This is what was happening. Verse 5, and it says, and upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth. Her name is written on the forehead, meaning in the mind and thoughts. But you have people who teach this literally, saying they're going to be across their forehead where it's tattooed and they're walking across and people can see it. That's silliness. This is the doctrine that people teach. That they don't come and tattoo something like this on their forehead to where you can see it coming. That's silliness. That's why it says on your forehead, in your mind. And she would turn many from the doctrine of truth to the doctrine of death, making you think that you died in the doctrine of Christ and you didn't. Because many gonna die in Yahweh's name and actually didn't. And it says, verse 6, and I saw the woman who, mystery of Babylon, the great whore, drunken with the blood of the saints. Who? Mystery of Babylon. With the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. These are people who thought they died for Yahweh, who thought they died for him and they didn't. This is the problem. People die and thinking they died for him. Martyrs, and they didn't. You have time today. You think about that. How many people are in churches all over the world today and tomorrow in pens, which they say that of God, which they burned up thousands of years ago, so he don't meet in those. But the main thing is they think they died for him. And they didn't. There was in a pen which was full of abominations, the mother of harlots. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. These churches gathered under the doctrine and believed in living in the doctrine of Christ, and they thinking they living for Christ and they living for Satan. So you have to remember a few things. He said, we are the temple. We're not the church. The church is the gathering of us. The temple is you. But this is what they say. Let's get this. Let's hone in on some of this. 1 Corinthians 3:16. It says, know ye not that you are the temple of Yahweh, and the spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you? Really? If the spirit of Yahweh dwells in us, but they'll tell you in the church, that building. And the crowd of the people, which we want to hone in on that, the gathering of the people that are the temple of the real Yahweh that dwelleth in you, is where he is. But we're gonna come to that. See, our body is the Most High. See, that's where the Most High resides. In temples, not synagogues, not churches. Listen, if any man defile the temple of Yahweh, so if you defile it, him shall Yahweh destroy. For the temple of Yahweh is holy, which temple ye are, which you are. This is the reason you cannot defile your temple. But guess what? You can do whatever you want. Eat, do what you want. Go and do whatever you want. And guess what? He already forgiven you for it. You already forgiven for those sins that you're getting ready to commit, that you know you're going to commit. in Hebrews 10:26, for once I come to the knowledge of the truth, there's no more sacrifice for sin. Don't worry about it. They said, don't worry about that verse. Cross it out. This is what they said. So this is why it says, if any man defile the temple of God, him Yahweh destroy. For the temple of Yahweh, which temple ye are. This is the reason if you defile your temple, the same reason why Yahweh says the Father has many mansions. This is why he says that. Let's look at it. John 14:2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it was not so, I would have told you. I go and prepare a place for you. So the Most High has many abiding places. So Yahweh showed the temple as a schoolmaster for our learning. The Most High reside in temple, not churches. The gathering of his name, and you will be in the midst. That's why he said. But the building was only a teaching tool for us to be removed. And this is why he said he's going to remove every brick, because the Most High do not reside in places that made with hands. Are we understanding this? See, he's unpacking this. He's the teacher. That's why he said, don't call him, why do you think they call him rabbi? He was the teacher. Mark 13:1-2 is tell you. And he went out of the temple. One of his disciples said unto him, Master, see that manner of stones, what building are here? I said, went out of the temple again. It was a visual tool, a schoolmaster. And one would say the visual person. So as a visual person, we have to switch it to the building because we are visual people. So he's showing you the building to where we're going to look at the building, and he's going to tell you about the building, but the building he's talking about is you. So when you see the physical building that he's showing you, that which is the one temple, because it only had the one temple that now in that time. They wasn't all over the place. Why? Because he wanted you to come to that one temple. Why? Because it's one God. And it's in one place. So he's going to teach you right there. Because it's in one place. So if it's one place, I can teach you about this one God, where he is and what it's about. So this one place, we're going to use this as a teaching tool for you to learn. So this was the schoolmaster to teach you, to show them the building. Watch, verse 2. Yahweh answered and said unto them, seest thou these great buildings? See thou these great buildings? Are you catching this language? He said, there shall not be one stone upon another, and shall not be thrown down. It's not going to be one stone left there. Why? Because it was a teaching tool. Yahweh said, this is the building, and he was, and then not one stone left. Meaning what? Then the schoolmaster is showing you the example using the bricks as a building to be removed, because the Most High do not reside in buildings made with hands. So as Yahweh was going in the temple, daily teaching was a symbol which is writing upon our hearts daily. You cannot destroy a spirit. Yahweh even explained this process of speaking of himself. He said the same thing. Watch how he does this. John 2:19, it says, Yahweh answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will rise it up. That was Christ speaking. Yahweh talking about his body is the temple of the Most High. If they destroy the temple, not the building, the physical building they was looking at, but Yahweh was talking about himself. But watch how they took it. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building. It took them 46 years to build it. And then it goes on more. And wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? You see, they clearly didn't get it. They clearly didn't understand it. Why they did not understand it? Because they don't understand the language that he was using. However, we don't understand many of these teachings because guess what? They into false doctrine. They into these false Christ. They into these things to which they don't understand. It took him 46 years to complete it, but he's talking about his body. Because he said, destroy this temple, this temple. He's talking about himself. And it goes on, verse 21, it tells you. But he spake of the temple of his body, of the Most High. We're no longer under the schoolmaster. We live strictly by faith, not visuals need to be seeing something. All the visual tools was removed. Galatians 3:25. It says, but after faith is come. See, after we have this faith is come, we're no longer under the schoolmaster. Once you believe and you have the faith and you truly understand that you are the temple and you go in the temple is your body, is written upon your heart, and in your ark, which is the heart, you are understanding you made of the Most High. Your body is the temple and your heart is the ark. This is where the law and the commandments reside. It's written upon your heart. You're no longer under the schoolmaster to prove that you need an image or something to prove that you're part of his. The same Yahweh was going in daily, doing what? In the temple, writing upon the heart the Father commandments, which is referencing clearly Jeremiah 31:33. So if one is without the Spirit of the Most High, you are without the ark. You're just a temple and no ark. You don't have the heart and it's not written upon you. This is clear. Just look at Matthew 23:27. It says, woe, Yahweh is talking. Woe, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites. You're like unto white sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outwardly, but within are full of dead man bones and of all uncleanness. See, posing to being pure temples outside. This is why they use those things to do those. To show you, look how we look. Look how we look preacherish. Really. We look like the preacher. We have a white around our neck. We have all this on. And he said, beautiful outside. However, inside we're full of dead man's bone. We're full of sin. These do not believe in the commandments of the Most High God. The same as being a temple is not with the Spirit. And without the Spirit is other things, what? Is dead. The body is dead because the body is a temple and the ark is within your heart. So the temple is not God, it's without the ark in it. The same as with the ark, without the body is dead. Kind of didn't make sense, huh? But watch, we're gonna let his brother tell you about this. We're gonna look at James 2:26, and we're gonna get it. It says, for as the body, comparing the body. That's all it's saying. As. That's all as means. For comparing the body without the Spirit is dead. You see that? So faith without works is dead also. You see how that works out? See, for comparing the body without the Spirit is dead. So faith without works is dead also. So the body is controlled by the Spirit, the ark, and the ark is the heart. The heart is controlled by your decisions, and your body will follow the decisions of the heart. The heart is the driver, not the body, unless it is the dead spirit in it. And the same is for saying that they have faith in the works that is also dead, or the spirit without the body is dead also. You get that? James 2:17. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone. So faith, the spirit. Without works, the body. And you think you need only the body and not the spirit, because this is what they teach. And you believe you are living under grace and no law, which is the heart, is dead. Because this can't be a one-sided deal. So if you're under grace, then you don't need the spirit, which is the heart that the laws is written upon. So that's dead also. So what we goes on more, verse 18, yea, a man say, thou hast faith and have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. See, many will say they believe in the grace and they have the spirit. However, they have no works behind it. And when one see one with the works of the body by the faith of the spirit, your body is the working vessel, is the living sacrifice of the spirit to live in. It is the motor that drives the body. The heart is what drives it. Are we getting this? Now I say that again. Your body is the working vessel, is the living sacrifice for the spirit to live in, and that's the motor that drives the body, which is the heart, which is all the commandments that's written upon it. This is the knowledge that came down from heaven to feed us. That's the octane to run the motor. Let's look at that. John 6:50, it says, this is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. This is the bread that came down from heaven. The Spirit, the Christ, the knowledge that came down to us and given knowledge of the Father. Something you can eat, which is the spiritual side, the word, the bread. Something, it may be used in two ways in the Bible. In some cases, it actually means bread. In other ways, it means standing for food. But on the spiritual sense, we can always go right back into the spiritual sense for both sides and get a complete understanding of it. But bread, which came down in the general sense, has two main components. This is why he uses bread. And what does it have? It has fat, carbohydrates, and it gives energy, protein, vitamins, minerals to help the fleshly body build new tissues and perform functions. However, the spiritual side fills the two needs, which lets him, the Most High, fill us with the desires of being good, the energy to provide the fats, carbohydrates, same thing, and to be also of the truth, which is to understand how to put the desire into effect. It forms the building materials provided by the proteins and the vitamin, food in the Bible. Then it represents everything good and true and uses from Yahweh, which is the higher sense of the spiritual life, in the highest sense of Yahweh himself. So all foods through bread itself is perhaps the most basic, most purest form, which is used, and why he uses that as the form to which he uses to teach us. Is the energy in which such represents the most celestial and all desires for good and the love of Yahweh himself. So if one doesn't listen to the Most High, means that he is the same as one chosen not to eat bread of the Most High. And these are the ones who chose not to eat it when he said, you got to eat of my body. This is why they didn't want to do that, because they thought he was talking about cannibalism. Verse 51. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. The bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. You see that? You see that? So the living bread resides in Yahushua. He was doing what? Feeding you with knowledge and understanding of the commandments of the Most High. If you ate of his bread, you will live forever. His flesh is knowledge, which came from heaven. Let's look at some examples, and then we're going to see how the rivers signify the truth of abundance in itself and understanding for the proposed doctrine of life. Even if we have the other side on this, how when you see the river that becomes blood in dry land, meaning what this life is flesh, and it cry out as it's needed. So we need to create So we are created from what? We are created from dust of the ground, which our bodies is also created of 75% water, made from the form of water. Really. Let's kind of break this into a couple of pieces because one, we got to do, most people don't know that, did you know that plasma is mostly made up of water and salt? Absorbed through the person's digestive tract each and every day. However, you still have the bone marrow, which is inside your bones, which makes red blood cells and white blood cells. The plasma is mostly water, which is absorbed through the intestines, and we eat and drink. And our liver supply the most important proteins. The Most High is not playing with in creation. He makes sure creation was perfectly made. We are created from the dust of the ground and what? Water from the earth. And do you know that the brain and the heart is composed, the heart and the brain is composed of what? 73% water. The lungs are about 83% water. Yeah, actually, don't believe it, go check it. Even the skin contains 64% water. The muscles and kidneys are 79% water. The bones are watery, 30%, 31% water. So remember, they burned up the Most High synagogues according to what? Psalm 74, 4 through 9. They replaced them with what? Their own synagogues. So the Most High had to search for the scattered sheep looking in their buildings, not temples of God. He went in their buildings. Understand what he's saying. Matthew 4:23, and Yahushua went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, not the Most High's. He went teaching in their synagogues, preaching the gospel of the kingdom, healing all manners of sickness and all manners of diseases among the people. He went in their synagogues. Yahweh went and teaching their synagogues, what, looking for what? The lost sheep of the house of Israel in their churches. These synagogues had changed the name to lure you in them because you're Israel and this is what they want to do. This is why it's not his. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. He's clear, crystal. We say they are Jews. We say they are, hey, you're one of us. Come on in here. But are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet and know that I have loved thee. He comes in and he tells you, this is why we want to make sure we hold on to what we know. They will say they are with you and are not. They will say they will of you and are not. But he will make them in the gathering place of Satan and Israel, and they come and are not. These are the liars of Satan who transform themselves into ministers of Satan and they come and give you a dejection of truth, and then they proceed to feed you the lie. They will come and worship at the Most High's feet. Because what? Because they have kept thy word of thy patience, I will keep thee for the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And he goes on more. Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast. You missed it. Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Really? Why is he saying it? See, don't let somebody take your crown when you're thinking you have something else and you really don't have the truth. But once you get the truth, and most people can't take the truth because the truth sits there and it's too blunt. The truth is it cuts, it dices, it cuts away all the fat, it cuts away all the lies that you want to believe in. It removes that. The people don't want to be under those. People want to hear those smooth things, not the truth. You have many who want to hear the truth and you go ahead and just suck it up and just take it. I just need it raw. Just give it to me raw. Then you ask, no, I need that smooth thing. That was a little bit too harsh. It hurts. See, he don't dwell in a place that's made with hands. See, even these churches, not the temples, they're gathering place. Synagogues mean the gathering place. That's all it means, as well as assembly. So a church, all it means is one and the same. Just because you're Israel and they sitting there telling you come in here, doesn't mean they are all the same. Because just because you're Israel, don't mean you're Israel. You want me to say it? Just because you're Israel, don't mean you're Israel. Because you got some Israel that is not of the promise. He said only 1/3 going in. That's it. And some people, well, let's go. Romans 9:6, it says, not as though the word of Yahweh, not as though the word of Yahweh, listening, obeying, keeping his commandments, take none effect. Because it's not going to affect some of us. We're going to live the way we want to live. For they are not all Israel. Because they're not all Israel. They're going to teach what they're going to teach. And it says what? Which are of Israel. So just because you're Israel don't mean that they're going to be Israel. You have people teaching, telling everybody who going to hell and who going to the lake of fire, and they're going to be right beside them. Who are Israel? Just because you're children of the flesh don't mean that you're children of the spirit. Just because you're talking about you're children of the high, don't mean that you're a child of the promise. See, Israelites, we have to be adopted back into this covenant. The Most High's children, not the ones that not of the promise, but the ones of the promise, pertaining to them that who what? Giving and keeping of the law. Romans 9:4, who are Israelites whom pertaineth the adoption in the glory, in the covenants, plural, not singular, covenants, in giving of the law, in doing what? In the service of Yahweh. The service, meaning service what? You have a body prepared for him, to which he can do with his will in you. Is what? In the promises. Giving your body being temples of the living sacrifice of the Most High, he will make our election sure, doing this service for the Most High in his covenant. That's why it says this. He makes this clear. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Then he said church. The building. Not the people, the building. Then he said synagogue. Did he say Bethlehem, Church God Holiness, Church God in Christ? No, he didn't. Where 2, 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. See, he abode in the midst of them, not in the replacement places of the gathering place that they burned up thousands of years ago. Yahweh went searching in their synagogues for lost sheep, not to join them, but to remove them from those places where Satan resides and has built for us to go in there to feed more false doctrine. Matthew 18, verse 11, for the Son of Man came to save which was lost. So Yahweh came to seek in which was lost, and that was the lost sheep of Israel. And to seek them in where? In the church of the gathering places. And to find only the ones who hear his voice. He's coming looking for those sheep, those certain sheep. What think ye? If a man have 100 sheep and one of them gone astray, do not he leave the 99 and go into the mountain and seek it, that which is gone astray? Really? Even if one will seek him, he won't go look for him? This is what's happening today, that he won't go seek them. So he went in their synagogue seeking his lost sheep because they know his voice. Hey, what you doing in there? Get up out of here. Time to go. Sheep gonna follow. Yeah, son, what better do I have it here? They had made me head deacon. They made me deacon. They made me an elder. They made me a pastor. They made me an apostle. And I'm gonna leave this and follow you. Yeah. And all we supposed to be as examples to the flock. We just supposed to seek which is lost, strengthen other brothers to go help us seek them, not overseeing them. Let's look at this. Ezekiel 34:16. It says, I will seek which was lost and bring again that which was driven away and bind up that which was broken and will strengthen that which was sick, but I will destroy the fat and the strong. I will feed them with judgment. He was seeking bring them back from Deuteronomy for the reason of breaking the laws of the Most High. And we destroy the one who did wrong to his people by feeding them with judgment and doing what? For comparing of you, or as you, and as for you, in comparing of you for you, O my flock, thus saith Yahweh God. Behold, I judge between cattle and cattle. Remember the first time where it said cattle, it was already talking about sheep. Tell you that back in Genesis. So he's going to judge between sheep and sheep. We spotted in non-wrinkle, same thing what we seen from the beginning, what we seen where Jacob was separating them between ram and the he goats. So he's gonna be trained, he's gonna be looking between the servants and judge for it, and do let them come in the thief of the night. So don't let them come up on you in the thief of the night. Because once he settled them, and he said he's gonna come and take cattle in between the rams and the goats. So he's making himself clear. Once he come and get you, then that's why he goes over to here. And we're going to look at Psalm 23. It says, but Yahweh is my shepherd, I shall not want. Really? He maketh me lie down in green pastures. That's where you're going to be fed. He leadeth me beside still waters, feeding you with knowledge. This is what's going on. This is why we happen in this way. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. This why he leadeth, we follow. He restored, we know in our minds. He restored what was written upon our hearts. We remember. And we remember the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of California, they that I walk through the valley of Texas, do I walk through the valley of death? This is anywhere. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, anywhere. Name a state, name a country. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Who? Our shepherd. the Most High. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me, because he has it. He goes on more. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of thy enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. We are the temples of the Most High in our abiding place, and he wants us to dwell in the house of Yahweh. He is not in buildings. He's making himself clear all the time. Surely goodness, mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahweh forever. His gathering places is not those churches you see today, not the synagogues, not those places. It's you. You're the temple. With two or three gathered in his name, there he will be in the midst. We don't cost you a dime. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. These are things we need to make sure we understand. And when his burden is light, he makes sure you understand. Matthew 11:29, he says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Not for money. Learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. So your yoke of learning is simple. It's not costly or burdensome. But your soul will find rest in him, in making sure all these things is right. But my yoke is easy, my burden is light. See, his yoke is easy, his burden is light. We prove that the body and we will provide the motor. And the motor is your heart. Himself, that's the Most High himself, who dwell in temples, not church buildings, not synagogues, not all these places where they say it is and it's not. He's making himself clear all the time. He do not dwell in buildings made with hands. So if he don't dwell in buildings made with hands, why are people still saying this is where he is? And he put his name in one place. That's in Jerusalem. 2 Corinthians 6:6 will clearly tell you where his name is. These temples are not churches. These burial buildings are not what he's saying. The temple was a schoolmaster to teach us that we are the temple, and that's why he had to remove it, because it was being a tool, a visual tool to teach us what the temple was. And the temple is what? Now you have Yahushua going in the temple, doing what? Teaching you of the law of the Most High. He was writing it where? Upon your hearts. Daily. Daily, he did this. And what was going on? So the laws of the Most High on the hearts of them who would listen, who would obey. Matthew 11:12, Yahushua went into the temple of Yahweh and cast out all them that sold and brought in the temple. So what are we doing today? They got book sales, bake sales, videos, CDs, pictures, sell dinners, sodas, water, clothing, you name it. They advertise it, they sell it. That's a temple of the Most High, and they do whatever they can to profit from the building. It's supposed to be the temple of God. But it's telling you, right, what did Yahweh do? He went into the temple of Yahweh and cast out all them that sold and brought in the temple. Get rid of all that junk out of there. And threw out the tables and the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. He got all that junk out of there. Why? Because he makes himself clear. And he said unto them, it is written. It is written. Where? In the Old Testament. My house. Where is that written? In the Old Testament. shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. See, this is what we have to make sure we understand what it is. See, the temple is a house of prayer, of learning. This is what your temple is for. Learning of the Most High. Learning of the Most High. Not for money changers, not pressure sales need to be having a burden. Oh, we got to do this. We got to take care of the church. We got to do that. We got to come do this. We got to do that. We got to do this for the church. We got to do that for the church. All this stuff we got to come do. But guess what? As you come do this, he said, what? We have made this a place of thieves. And it is written, his house is called the place of prayer. So as he says, take my yoke, for I am meek, lonely in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. This is what he's making it clear. It don't cost you nothing, as I said. It's free. So we need to understand what that is. For he will continually come and do what he needs to do. His yoke is easy, his burden is light. So with that, we need to understand that church is a gathering place as we gathered even here right now. We have to understand the church is teaching of the Most High. The church is not sitting there telling you, oh, how much money you need to be given, what you need to be buying. Guess what? I wrote a book on this and you need to buy this. That is not a church. That is a place of safety. He's making himself clear all the time. Those are synagogues of Satan. People can sit there and say, well, it's not really that. Yes, it is. They want to sit there and they want to justify it for them. So these are the ones that people need to understand, that people need to learn and really understand. So with that, I wish that each and every person have some understanding, and that we will continue to move forward to each and everything, and that we will learn what the Most High had for all these things, and we will continue to be blessed by the Most High. I need to stop this, but I know we have some people not mainly dressed. I need to move some of this over, but I can't do it right at this moment. But I'm gonna see if I can do it another way. Let me see here, and I can see if I can take a few questions right now. And I know they give me, so I got some kind of control now because they actually can't stop it because we have to switch doing some issues. So right now I'm sharing my screen. So actually I need to put that on silent. So what I can do right now, if we have some questions here, I can answer a few while I have a little bit of time and see what's happening. Because I know we had some issues to where we couldn't do a few things, but right now we're able to. So if you have some questions for about the next 15 minutes, I'll be able to go through it. And I appreciate everybody who was able to sit in. I know we had to change our time, and because right now I'm moving around quite a bit, and my apologies is always there. But the lessons, I want to make sure that people are being fed in one way or another. So I do thank you for everyone who's enjoying the lesson. But I just want each and every person, and thank you, Sister Anna Lee. I appreciate it, and I want you guys just to remember that we are temples. We don't reside in buildings. We, wherever two or three are gathered, he'll always be there in the midst. So when people want to look at a church and some people want to look at a temple, we talk about two different things, completely two different things. So I can take any questions, and thank you, there. Once I can bless you. Yes, thank you too. Also, Sister Gloria, actually, that was my mom. So my mom's name is Gloria, and thank you, congratulations, bless you, thank you, I appreciate it. And then also, actually, since I'm already on, I can let you know tomorrow they might be switching some things up for the teenagers, but I do know the children, and that y'all probably seen where I was doing part of it. The children part is going to go. That part is set in stone, which we want to give with the children. Which, if you have not joined, you can go to their King James Bible University, their home YouTube page, and then you'll see the teaching there. Who are you? But you can see over on the other side, you'll see Kids King James Bible University. If you guys have not joined it, please do. Go over there, join it, support what's going on. Don't cost you a dime. But the main thing is it'll teach children exactly how to learn about the Bible, one. But then also what's very important, adults is going to learn a lot of stuff over there also. Because there's going to be a great amount of information being given to them, and it's going to be broken down into the smallest molecules because the way we have to teach the children. So yeah, so some people just look over the screen sharing. But if I stop the screen sharing, it's going to show another way, and I can't do it because we have something that's going on in here. But I want to make sure, yeah. So anybody who have not joined that, make sure that you join over there with the children and also with the School of Precepts. But one of the main things that you want to, because both of those, the School of Precepts is actually mine, which we're setting up, but right now we're taking care of the kids. But we want to make sure with the Kids King James Bible University, make sure you do that one also, because that was actually extremely important. But what we want to make sure as we continually move forward, I want to make sure that each and every person, that all the kids, the ones that did register, we're going to end up switching. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to see how many we can get today to where we can put them in and we'll have them live because they're going to be interacting with me. And then I want to make sure that most of them can interact. And then some that I won't be able to interact with, they're going to be looking through YouTube. But then the ones that won't be interacting, will be interacting, they're going to be in the Moab with me to where they can talk back and forth. And then it says it's bad to receive donations and furniture from one of these churches. And even if they don't go to church, just one-off donation based on needs. So we say, is it bad to receive a donation, i.e. furniture, from one of these churches, being Israel, even if you don't go to church? Just one-off donation based on need. Now, what does they need? If they selling anything out of there other than what they're supposed to be doing teaching, again, we're trying to justify certain things to do what they need done. If it's a gathering place and then all they're doing is teaching about Israel and they walking out of there, that's one thing. Where they doing all the kind of other things and they're doing that, it's letting you know what it is. Just like I said, if it's just 1% off, then we can know it's not true. That's the problem. So the body of Hamashai is still in the church. So the body of Hamashai is still in the church that many Christians have said, or is that wrong? Keith Lewis, that's 3,000% wrong. Because when you say Yahushua is still in the church, see, he was never in the church. It was just a gathering place. So evidently, it sounds like what you need to probably do is go back and look at the lesson because it's just a gathering place. So that's why people are saying you're still in the church. So I see, as I said, some people are going to catch it and some people are not going to catch it or understand the lesson in the full entirety. So that's what's happening right now. Because my brother, I just want you to understand, He said, where two or three are gathered, where two or three is gathered as a church, the gathering, he'll be there in the midst, not in some building. He don't dwell in buildings. So he tells you this, but just keep, go back and just look at the lesson again, my brother. I'm just teaching on the church. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, that's my brother, brother T. Yeah, you always live my book, my brother in church. When darkness to light, yeah. And we also do want to make sure something's not going to be done. We do have Brother T, and actually the university will be jumping behind that. And the people who's on here, um, he will be having a thing going out for which I don't want to really mention right now, but the school going to be getting behind. So you will start seeing some of his connections. Well, I think actually we even within the school. So we just need to make sure we're gonna support that brother, make sure everything we good with him. And the letter, okay, if the letter J don't exist back then, what were the Jews called? Okay, so the same thing. If you look at the J's back then, and what you still got to remember, which the J's in the new Bible, in the Bible that we use in today, is actually you looking at the transliteration of development of the lettering on what's coming on. So when you look at this, and when people want to get into J's didn't exist back then, I tell you what, because I can tell you exactly what it means in Hebrew. But the main thing is, when you want to go into those things like that, we'll deal with like smaller semantics. I will ask you, then you tell me what it is, because it's clear in scripture on what they was called, because it actually tells you twice what they was actually called. But when people want to get to what J's didn't exist, because actually the English language was developed and was standardized through the King James Bible. So we can go through many things, and I can go through this all day. But when people want to get to those small semantics and thinking that they can find out something differently, that's kind of the way I go with it. Yeah, thank you. That's great. Thank you. It's for my kids to interact with you. Yes, Sister Dana. Actually, I'm going to be looking for you. I'm going to be looking for Sister Finkley kids to make sure they interact with me, because you two are part of the group, and I want to make sure, especially if yours and Sister Finkley not on there. Sister Finkley, no, I am going to come down there and actually get on her if I don't make sure I don't have her kids. So those two I am looking, so making sure that, because I know you guys can actually get to me, so I want to make sure that they're interacting with me, especially Sister Finkley, because it's one that I've built a relationship with, one of the young ones there already, and very much teaching scriptures and shalom. Am I too late and too early at the same time? Yeah, my brother, what they did, what happened, they did the teaching. Well, I did the teaching, and basically what happened, because right now we're moving around. So the areas I'm in right now, we have the time went at 6 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm in Eastern Central. I'm in one of the times, I'm not sure yet. So they set the time to where it'll go and be done, because I do have to do something else within about another hour and a half. So they set it to where it kind of benefits. So my apologies there, and this is kind of what was going on. But next week we should be okay. And what time we do the Sabbath class, the children class be held. They had a time over there. If you click on the Sabbath class for the children, I believe it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. I know it's not 8 o'clock California time. That I do know. But the time they kind of just kind of let me know. So, but I do know it's 8 o'clock. But if you go to the Kids King James Bible University, the time is there. That I do know. And when you be in Illinois, you need to get back to, yeah, we have a lot of people need to be in a lot of places. And I would, yeah, thank you, Sister Finkley. I appreciate it. Because if not, I'm going to get on you. Because I need to have my little one. I need to have my little one there. And and when I don't know, you need to get baptized. Yeah. Yeah, once we start coming through, I will make sure I will start letting everybody know what time is the mark. And what is the mark of the beast? The mark of the beast is actually the spirit. So most people looking at the mark of the beast thinking it being tattooed or put in you. That's not what it's talking about at all. I actually will do a teaching on it because the mark of the beast actually shows every day. Most people are looking for a physical mark. And as I tell people all the time, anything a Christian teach, better check it twice. The best way to put it. Anything a Christian teach, check it twice. Because 9 times, well, I say 10 times out of 10, they're gonna teach it incorrectly. Quick question: when it comes to congregating, is studying online such right consider congregating? And same thing is right now we have technically we have about 190 people. So you tell me, is congregating online? So it's tell me it's congregating on the street or congregating in the building? You tell me, is that right? So these are things to where I kind of get more blunt about because when people are doing online, all I would like to know what is the difference. So you need to actually explain to me, Ms. Stewart, what is the difference in congregating online and congregating in person? Because I see a majority of the people in here, there's a great deal of them who actually personally know me. So I would like to know. You tell me. And what is the name of the teaching? And wait a minute, brother. Oh no, I know, brother McGee. I'm gonna be doing one. Market release. So sorry about that. I mistakenly said it something incorrectly. So yeah, but the main thing is what people are trying to do, where they make room for it, and you got to remember one thing: Yahweh made all things, and all things were made by Him and through Him. So He made ways to where people can congregate, made better forms for people to congregate, and easier and faster ways to where He can reach this word out everywhere. So same thing. Is to have not sit there and ask you for one dime whatsoever. So and literally stay within scripture all the time. So you consider for yourself if it's truth. If you don't consider it's truth, then same thing. This channel goes many different ways. But perhaps you look at something and in here could be something. I have been led to believe. Okay, so again, we have a problem right there. I have been led to believe that in person is congregating. Okay, you have been led to believe in person is I've been led to believe. I'll let you figure that one out because you said I've been led to believe. So I'll let you figure that one out. You've been studying with the group. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so same thing. I could twist that and say that group is y'all in the midst of it. Same thing. I can actually dig deeper into it, but I just want to sit here to where we can go back with a couple of oranges. So it says, I need to get a Bible with the Apocrypha. What do you suggest? Actually, we had a link, and actually, if you go over to the kids side, I believe it's a link over there already to where you can actually get a Bible pretty cheap. I believe it is. So I'm not too, but I know it's going over there. If not, it says Hat Jones. I'm not sure if it's man over, but if not, go over there tomorrow. We'll be over there tomorrow, and I know it's going to be some links in there. That I promise you. And what is the correct way to be baptized? Actually, when I do those teachings, I know that I do teachings online on it because I do not like them handwriting, but I actually show you how to be baptized in private teachings, which I show you the correct way of being baptized. Yeah, yeah. He says, and I need to be ready. No problem, my brother. That's what we're here for. That is what we're here for, to be ready educated to where we can find out what we need to be doing and find out based on precepts on how the Bible actually is to be learned. Yeah, here to understand that Matthew 5:7. Yeah, love to hear your understanding of Matthew 5:17 through 19 too. He didn't come to change the law. He came to fulfill something. You can see that in Acts 3:18. He came here to suffer, and then you can see this also in Hebrews 10. Go through and down through 1. You can actually go through the whole chapter and learn that one. Then you go right over to Daniel 9:26 and 27. You see what he actually wants you to do. It's clear. So that's kind of coming off Christianish in a way when you say I want to see your understanding on Matthew. That kind of comes off kind of Christianish, and that's kind of what Christians do, because y'all think that he didn't come to change the law. He tells you that I didn't come to change the law or the prophets. So the law is the first 5 books, or the prophets. That's the rest of the Old Testament. He didn't come to change, but he came to fulfill. He came to fulfill something. And Acts 3:18 tells you clearly what he came to fulfill. Hebrews going to even go into more in depth, and then Hebrews tell you the prophecy that Daniel spoke of when you see it in Daniel 9. And that'll tell you, I actually teach on that, but that's clear. But I believe that's one thing. How do I get to the kids' side? Go to King James Bible University homepage or the YouTube, and you should see it over on the right-hand side. You'll see Kids, King James Bible University. Click on it, and then you can join it from there. Or you can see one of the kids teaching, Who Are You? You can click on that and it'll take you over there, and then just subscribe to where you can have it. Yeah, okay. Forthcoming precepts. Yeah, I don't understand what you actually want to know from that. I thought that 9 out of 10 wrong. I thought 9 out of 10 teaching wrong from Christian Church. Blank lead. I'm not understanding your question, my brother, at all. Carrie asks, Heavenly Father, wholeheartedly you will answer. Elder Johnson, do you consider me a troll or disruptive of your teachings? I don't even know you. So, yeah, I have a brother where I need to understand it. Best way to help these brothers. Yeah, I have other brothers where I am that needs understanding. Yeah, and the same thing is what we do. We do have open up our teachings to where, and this is kind of in the midst of 2 things I'm doing right now. If you do need, if you guys have like a more than 12, 13 people, what you guys can do, you can actually send me an email. You can send an email actually also to the school and request for me to come there to do a teaching. And that's what we do. We come to do a teaching. And again, don't cost you a dime. Don't cost you no love, trash, offering of anything. But we will come and we'll speak. Do not have a problem. And that costs you absolutely nothing. Don't cost you to take care of hotel fees or eating fee. It costs you absolutely nothing to do those. But now the place that provided is mainly what they look for. So if you have a place that provided, we mainly do those. And let me see, everybody else, I think that we are pretty good. And then the only other thing, actually, even on that about this is Brother McKee. The only other reason why right now I've been they kind of, but they can't do nothing now because access they had to give me to where because we had some problems. But the main thing is I know they told me they didn't want me putting out my email right now for certain reasons. So that's the only reason I'm not putting my email up. But some people, if you do have my email and you do look for teachings to come out, you can email us And then what they'll do, they'll talk to you in their schedule, and we can get all that straight from there. Send an email. Whenever I send an email and post, Master sends it back. Yeah. Uh, the email, um, yeah, don't send back, but you might be doing something a little bit different. So yeah. What we do, well, in today's, and I just try to honor what they're doing because they do have people who's in the background working. So I try to make sure that we all work together. But what we would do, if you can go look at some past teachings and stuff like that, you'll see my email posted there because we boldly post it out. So let me see. I think that's it of questions. So we have no other questions. And has the time been changed for all the teachings now? No, the teachings are not changed. It was just changed for this weekend because we had to go do out some work. So the teachings is 8 o'clock California. Let me see. Yeah, 8 o'clock California time. That's the normal time, and that's the time that we continue. The only time it changed, Brother Curtis, is for what happened this weekend because we had quite a bit of stuff going on, and so they changed it all up. So everything was changed up for that reason. Yeah, yeah, my brother McGee. All I can keep saying is it has to be the wrong one because I get quite a few emails daily. Quite a few. And seeing if Defrost, and I know who that brother is, me and him, and Defrost, if you can, you can even ask Defrost, and Defrost, I don't mind, you can actually give him my number because I know Defrost has it. So if you want to give it to you, then that's up to Defrost. And if you're not in the congregation, then how can you be baptized? And when I come in the area and we let you know, all you have to do is request to be baptized and you go through it and we baptize you. It's not the way you have to be joined to a church. That's where they throw everybody. And then more information concerning King James. Others may be a Moor. Moor is talking about straight African. A Moor, not Judah. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. See, because Moors is talking about black, but then Moors also takes the whole to African. So those you have to watch for. Yeah, exactly. Uh, no, Zach. No, no, did not ring a bell. That one does not ring a bell. And mm, interesting. It seemed like yeah, really interesting. So I don't know there. So do we have any other ones? Let's see. It look like we have everybody else. Look like we have everybody else. So it look like everybody else is pretty much good. So, and what is a Moor? Moor is actually speaking about Africans. Basically, Moor just means black, but it makes it talk about Africans. But you'll see that's highly prevalent when you get into Islam. And I'm not talking about the nations of Islam here, but you get a nation is very prevalent over there. I'm in New York, where you be coming, yeah, I will be in New York. You know, they still sitting the schedule, but they sitting stuff around because we had some security issues. So they changed a lot of stuff and rerouting stuff. So, because I was going to have a schedule go out, but they changed it. Yeah, how can I get in touch with you? Sister Butler, you have my number. So that's what yeah. Yeah, enjoy your teaching. I will return. I appreciate it. But our times is not the time that you actually seen here today. Our time is normally 8 o'clock time, California time. In yeah, I don't want to mess. I know it's California time, 8 o'clock. That I know. I would love to be baptized, and I'm in New York. Yeah, no problem. Once we get there, once they switched a lot of stuff, because we had a lot of security information, a lot of security issues, a whole bunch of stuff happened. So they got all that kind of worked out. So now they changing my schedule, getting everything worked. So now we're pretty good. When it's a good time to call from the East Coast, and it probably today will not be too good because as soon as I leave here, I'm gonna be pretty tied up. And more is genetic for African, whether it's Semitic or no, it's Hamitic. And I actually don't even like to use those words, but it's actually Hamitic. It's not Semitic, Shemitic, because it's not. So you're actually blending them one and the same, and it's not true. Yeah, well, okay. I will be 10 my time. Yeah, yeah, you 2 hours ahead of me. No, California, if you're in New York, you're 3 hours ahead of me if you're in New York. So that is gonna mix it up. And oh yeah, no, if you're in New York, you're 3 hours ahead of me. Yeah, and in this Israel is in African play. Yeah, that I'm not gonna even keep dealing with because evidently you try to tie something to something that's not true. Anytime the East Coast. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's no problem, Brother Thomas. It will be posted, but they changed some stuff due to security issues. Yeah, South Carolina, yeah, that'll be one where I will be there. South Carolina, North Carolina, I will be there. Because I believe I will be going through, if I remember correctly, through about 30 states. And it looks like we have most questions actually done. So we're gonna get ready to sign off. Elder, what time tomorrow for the diagramming? Actually, tomorrow for the diagramming, it might be early. Most likely I'm gonna try to do it right after the teaching of the children, but I think they're switching around the teenagers. So I'm not sure. But if they're not switching around teenagers, then then I'm gonna do it. And I believe it should be it should be one of the I know the younger one's going to be done. Those we got set in stone. But I believe they're going to move the other. I believe they're going to move those other ones. That's what I do think. I'm not really sure. So hopefully I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm trying to get it, Sister Rhonda. But I know we're going to do it tomorrow. We will be doing one tomorrow. but I know we got to get it done early because then later on they're gonna have me tied up again. Then I'm gonna be on a plane going to a couple of different places. In Dallas, yes, I will be in Dallas also. And other than that, we should be pretty good. So now I'm gonna be stopping this broadcast in 1 second if we have no other questions. There, 12 young boys. I have 12 boys, young men, as we help them, respond. Again, 12 young boys. And if you send me an email, I don't know how you might be doing it. So if you can send the email to me, because we would love to assist you on that, but I need the email, and then we can see what we can do. Yeah, the children teachings will be recorded because they're going to be over on they're going to be in YouTube, but we're going to have them going through another way for some live ones. So they'll be live, projecting to YouTube. Yeah, and it is actually that was a breakthrough. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, diagramming is actually a trip. That's the best way to put it. In Michigan, um, it's, yeah, to be honest, I didn't see Michigan on the list, but I could be wrong. Yeah, the class, but it's recorded, so you can go back and actually look at it. FYI, the email is still on the about page, just so you know. Yeah, okay. They telling you clearly right there. Yeah, they're not hiding it, but they don't want it posted here. So I appreciate that, Hat Jones. But yeah, so they telling you you can actually go there and get it. So if somebody need the email, you can go there and get it. They just asked me not to post it here right now. Yeah, Mississippi, I'll be down there too. And West Coast, I don't know what it is. Is Philadelphia on the list? I'm not sure. Philadelphia, to be honest, I didn't see that one on the list either. But it could be. Some of them I could be wrong. But I do know Michigan. I don't believe was on the list. Philadelphia is a possibility. Memphis is actually on the list. And I sent the email. Okay. Yeah, so I appreciate Brother Smith who's actually helping me out to take care of that brother there. Yeah, Detroit, we will be in Detroit. In Toronto, yeah, I will be in Canada. Going to use. Yeah, oh yeah, okay. So Sister Brittany talking to me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Atlanta is there. That one's there. Yeah. Once we get the list, once they give it to me, then I can do it. Yeah, McNeil. I believe your children are. I can't see it right now, but I believe your children are, Sister McNeil. I believe they registered. See, I'm not sure if that's Brother McNeil doing it, but I know both of you. But I know both of you. So I don't. But I believe your children are listed. Yeah, and I will be in Houston, Indianapolis. Yeah, those places I'll be. So I know for like Michigan, I know Michigan is not one of them. I'm almost guaranteed I know Michigan is not one of them. And I don't think Boston is one of them. Yeah, once they put out the list, then you'll see everything that follows it. Because it'll show I'll be there. It'll show you what my itinerary is, what I'll be doing, and then you guys will be more than welcome to join up. Won't cost you a dime about anything. What about Northern California? I'm there all the time. Um, yeah, because there's a couple of places in Northern and Southern California I'm gonna be dealing with actually in the next couple of weeks. So Northern, if you in Sacramento, San Francisco, um, Fresno, just let me know. Cause I'm you in the Bay Area, yeah, okay. I'm there all the time. I'm talking about all the time. Sometimes I go there today and still will go and be back home the same day. I'm there all the time. And and let me see. So everybody else look like we are okay. Um, yeah, oh yeah, no problem, brother Silva. Thank you. Yes, yeah, all praises go to him. And look like everybody else was good. So I'm gonna be coming out. But I do wish that each and every person was richly blessed on the understanding and what we have to do, and make sure, you know, you know, it's a big thing with me. It's a big, pet. It's a serious pet peeve with me of how people twist the Most High words and how preachers goes out and they tell you and they find forms and ways and to extract funds from you, which is so wrong. And they telling you what's needed, this and that, and you know, a lot of my teachings you'll see it in there, and I support everything with scripture, but please, we try to get everybody to make sure you understand exactly what's going on. But with that, I wish that each and every person was richly blessed, understand what is going on with the word of the Most High. Yeah, one more before. When will you be in San Francisco? Actually, I might be up there next week. That's what I'm saying. So I'm telling you, I'm out there all the time. All the time I'm up there. So because we have some people up there that I do some teachings with up there. So I'm up there quite a bit. But if you have my email, just send me an email. Just send me an email, and then we can take care of it from there. But but what I want to do, I want to just thank everybody and just make sure that you just stay in your books in Pittsburgh. Not sure. Damn, see, I'm trying. I'm not sure. Not sure. Yeah, Shalom, lost sheep here. I can learn. How me teach my son. Your son, go over to the small side, raised Catholic, never felt comfortable. Yeah, actually, go over to the children's side. Go to the King James Bible homepage of YouTube. Click on the kids King James Bible University. Click over there. We'll be over there tomorrow teaching. So and then we can get stuff tied up from there. And yeah, I was so immediately after I finished, yeah, thank you. And Sister Brittany, which she said, how you teach this, it's just how you said, yeah, which that's what they do. Really good at doing. Actually, look at that, yeah. So, and that's a big thing. We have a lot of camps that teach completely, which is not scripture, and they will always prove it based on outside. That's why they go outside the Bible to make sure you understand it their way, not the Most High way. We have to make ourselves fit the Bible, not make the Bible fit us. And that's what people do. That's why they go outside books. Outside books does that. If I had a doctrine that I wanted to teach you, all I have to do is purchase books that use the verses to make it fit my lifestyle, and then I can teach it to you. But I can't take the book by itself and make it fit me because I'm gonna come out wrong somewhere, because guess what? You're gonna find contradiction based on precepts. You have to fit the Bible, not making the Bible fit you. That's why you don't see many people out there who teach precepts, because they gonna make the Bible fit them. We'll go to YouTube tomorrow. So I may learn. Yeah. Okay. So with that, everybody, the fringes, yeah, they actually taking care of that, and we still got to get some other people taking care. But they're actually doing something special. But I will take care of that, so I don't want to speak on it right now until I know that's ready. Day for you in the Bay Area. The day for me in the Bay Area. The best thing is, if you have my email, send me an email, and I tell you the day I'll be up there. Because when I get up there, I get on an early morning flight. Get up there early in the morning. I normally leave later in the evening, just like a day's work. And so with that, I will wish everybody a happy Shabbat, and as we continue to go through the day, each and every person just stay in the Word. Make sure that you study what you're reading, because that way you'll never be fooled by anyone. Everything is based on precepts. So with that, each and every person, I bid each and everybody a shalom.